Look at me, I'm talking and my mic is muted. What a rookie mistake. Good morning. It's been a little while since we've had a brunch going on. It actually sounds a little bit weird because I have my headphones in and they're noise canceling. So now to myself I sound like I have a cold, but it is what it is. We've got a lot going on this morning. I wanted to get in just a little bit earlier than usual because I do have things to do a little bit later. Game sounds. I have to get used to game sounds. Alright, so we got TB coming up. Actually, we also have to do Luthen, but we'll wait a little while till we do that. Oof. Here we go. Alright, I want to do a little bit of math before I do this. I want to see how feasible this next goal is for my guild. Where is my calculator at? 396 minus 351. So I need 45 there. Plus 500 minus 460. So we need 85 there. And then we need a fuck ton. Plus 730 minus 483. So we need about 332. Oh, this is going to be an uphill fucking battle. 66 million. Hey, Hot, good morning. It is meth time. I gotta tell you, I feel like I'm on meth. Not that I know what being on meth feels like, but a little bit of an allergic reaction to my cats. So my eyes are fucking itching, and went to the doctor last week for my first annual physical in 10 years. So my decade physical. And he gave me an allergy test. And the one thing that I am severely allergic to is cats. Of course, I have 2 of them. So isn't that fun? Let's see where we're at. 9, 10. All right, let's get started so that my other TB officers don't flip the fuck out when I don't do my stuff. We got this stupid fucking combat mission. I hate Ring of Kafrine. I really do. Can't use ghosts. Thank you. It was a collaborative effort between quite a few people that helped me out, so that I didn't have to pay a buck, which was really nice. Super helpful of everybody. Nobody had to pay a dime. Well, a few people bought packs in the games that we were playing, but nobody had to spend anything significant. So it was very cool coming together of the community. All right. We want to... Okay, that is a perfect start. I find that if I can kill both TIE fighters, I usually am in pretty good shape. TIE advanced. So I would love to do Huts Hangout. The problem is that I work Saturday mornings, and Huts Hangout films on Saturday mornings. So I told Bones that if there is ever a Saturday that, like, there's a snow day or there is some, like, holiday but you guys are still filming, that I would do Huts Hangout. But that's unfortunately the only opportunity because, actually, I might be able to do, not next week, but the week after. I'll have to talk to him about it. I might not be able to stay the whole time. I'm headed in 2 weeks on Saturday. My wife wanted to go to the Ren Fair in Pennsylvania. And I reached out to Fat Phil to see if he'd be interested in hanging around. So I'm going to go get drunk with him in 2 weeks. But that also means I had to take off from work. And my wife is not a morning person. So I might be able to do Let's Hang Out that day. At least some of it. A little nervous on this battle here. Hey, New Instinct, how's it going, man? It's been a while. I know. It's been a crazy. The start of the school year is always crazy for me. I was actually thinking about it on the drive home yesterday. That last school year, I wasn't doing this at the beginning of the school year, so this is my first time like getting used to school year shenanigans at the same time as everything else. And then of course my brother coming in, but now I think we're good. I think we're good to hang out on Sundays going forward. All right, perfect. I won that yesterday. I did not win it last week on Sunday. So that gives me the points that I need. So it should be easier to hit my goal today. Make sure these are all Gungans so I don't make that mistake again. Oof. And let's pop this bitch on auto. Because that's why we all come here, right? Is to see me not play the game. Oof. What do you have planned for today? I know that usually you duck out early to play like football or any other number of sporting games. Oh shit. Hold on, I don't like this. They're doing too much damage to my shield generator. Well, right now I need to play it because they are doing a lot of fucking damage to that shield generator, and I don't know if we're gonna win. I wonder if I could just auto basic this to try and get some shield back. I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay. Alright, we got up to 8. That's better than the 3 that I had. And let's go with this, and then just put it on auto and pray. Oof. Alright, good. We got the taunt. Alright. Hopefully it's quiet because you want it to be quiet, you know. I always like those quiet days. I'm a big fan of them. I tell my friends that I need like 3 days to plan before I do anything with them. I have a friend that recently moved in pretty close by, which as an adult is just a rare thing. And he stopped by one day to go get like Slurpees. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm already in my pajamas. I'm not wearing pants. I'll come outside to say hi to you without pants on, but I am not going to 7-Eleven to put pants on and to drink a Slurpee at 37 years old. You'll have to schedule with my secretary. Didn't your semester start already? I could have swore it did. Alright, so what do we got? We have 1.5. How many points are we doing? So 1.5. 1.5 plus 0.75. So we're at about 2.5. That's me, man. I'm realizing that I'm more of an extrovert than I originally thought that I was. But I still have those introverted tendencies, and as long as I have a few days notice, I'm happy to do whatever. But like when you're at work all day and your plan is go home and do nothing, you don't want to do anything else. If I'm gonna get fucked on any battle, it might as well be this battle. At least I got the better one. How does that work, though? If it starts on August, like, I don't understand how your college works. I'm gonna need that explained to me. Because that was 2 months ago. Cheers, those of you just joining us, good morning. You know what I do need to do for the stream is I need to get a bot that does the fuck you bones. I don't know how he has it before me. Oh, cheers, Simon. Thanks, no problem. That's what we do here. Roster reviews. We help people to get things done easier. I'll tell you right now, I skipped a fuck ton of classes. And I'm not saying that you should at all. I've never been good sitting in a classroom. It's not for me. We're going to take you out. And I had a lot of I was very good at test taking, and I had a lot of professors that were like, if you can pass this class without coming to class, be my guest. And so that's usually what I did. Ugh, fucking gross. I don't like that. That means it's going to be a slog. I went to college in a very different time. My time, professors are like, we do not give a shit if you show up as long as you pass. Really, what I should do is go after the Ebon Hawk just because of the Ebon Hawk's whole thing that happens. with stopping my ult, because this is going to be a long battle. Yep, there goes Slave 1. R.I.P. Gross. Me, online courses weren't really a thing when I went to college. They started to become a thing. And I did take one online course, and I hated it. I hated online classes. I don't know how they are now. But online courses when I went to school in like 2006 to about 2009, 2010, it was very much like, all right, listen to this lecture, and then you have to be like, you have to be active on our forum, and you have to reply to like 5 other people, and have discussions every day. And I just could not stand it at all. Let's get that first ult in. There we go. Okay. I think we're actually mostly good at this point. I am a little bit nervous about Slave 1 being up. Usually Slave 1 is not up at this point. Hey! Fuck you, Blackhammer. I'm just kidding. I love you. If we could just all clap and applause for Blackhammer, actually, because he finally finished Jabba the Hutt. I've only asked him to do it for like a year now. He's been pestering me about roster reviews since before I was even doing video, and I'm just so proud of him. Now he doesn't talk to me at all because he doesn't need me anymore. Alright, we're gonna just put this on auto basic for a few turns. Don't you guys just love watching this battle? It's like my favorite one in the entire game. We're gonna have to heal. Oh, I know that. That's what I've been saying forever. Blackhammer just finally decided to listen to me. And I'm just so proud of him for it. And I want him to know. Well, the good news is, Blackhammer, now with the new setup, and I tried to do this with Avant a few weeks ago, but it wasn't working. I was having a USB controller issue. But I bought new headphones that will circumvent that and make my life easier, so I don't have to wear these big, disgusting, you know, huge ones with the wires. Which allowed me to do the tails with Pico, and will allow me to have guests more frequently on this, now that everything is updated and nice. So we'll start talking about doing guest stars on Brunch. How long are we doing this fucking battle? I hate this stupid fucking battle. This is like the worst. You know, it doesn't even fucking matter at this point. I'm just putting on auto. We should win either way. Yeah. I had Blackhammer on I don't know, what was it, like 3 or 4 months ago, but it was really tough. Oh shit. It was really tough to do because the laptop was not handling it well. But now with this setup, it's a lot easier to do that. I do think that, and I've said this to people before, there are a lot of people that think they want to be on camera and then they get on camera or like on voice and they realize they don't actually want to be on voice. But well, I guess it would have to be only voice at this point, just because Moonborn, obviously the way that Brunch works, I can't put another camera just willy-nilly. But yeah, I like chatting with people, and it always seems so one-sided when I'm talking to you guys and you're replying in text. All right, let's see. Let's do Jabba's first. That's going to be an easy 500,000. So plus 0.5. All right. So with this battle, I'll be at 3.75 million in combat points for this phase. As of last night, I think everybody in Guild needed to get about 3.5. I'm sure it's higher now because not everybody does get that. But we'll see. We got fucked on a star because of the bugs this week. Some people couldn't log in on time, and that has put us a little bit behind. It's alright. It's only like, whatever it is, 25 crystals that we really lose out on. Yeah, I like chatting with you guys. And like when we were doing the sponsored stuff and we would just go into Discord and talk for like 2 hours, like that was fun. You average 10.2 million in combat points? I'm just talking about combat points. I'm not talking about whole TB points. Because that's a whole different thing. Like, I've beaten every battle so far. Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about... Oh, I see what the issue is, Ray Rock. So, in my head, we need to hit 3 stars in Ring of Kafrene in order to hit our new goal. And our new goal is actually 40, but we're only going to hit 38 to 39 this time because we got fucked with people not being able to get on. So I did the math yesterday, and we needed, with everyone that hadn't deployed yet, about 3.5 million per person in combat points. We're at the moment pushing a 41 star strategy that we haven't quite hit yet. The glaring issue here is Geonosis. We lose it by about 20 million each time, though we definitely can hit it. We'll shame people. Let's see. Phase 2. Special minute completed waves. Let's see. So definitely a few people that did not do anywhere near the amount. Oh, Moonborn. You're lucky I love you. Did not do anywhere near the amount of waves that they definitely could have compared to, you know, I actually didn't do great. As well as we could have. And then we would normally, there is the new star that we're trying to hit here, which will hit us to 41. And once we do that, we're going to start working on shifting this strategy to get to Vandor instead of Malachor and work on those platoons to get that done. But that's neither here nor there. We're looking at like 41, I'd say, in the next month. All right. So I'm at 3. Yeah, it is. And it is Hell Week. I do like it. We are definitely a little bit more on the relaxed side. And I've said this before. I try to push about 60 to 75% engagement, not 100% engagement. Because I don't want people getting burnt out. Especially when I don't think that their rewards are worth getting burnt down over. So there are phases, and I want to rework my strategy so that people understand that, like, phase 1, they literally have to do nothing. Like, just deploy, you're good. Which should help people, because if we look at phase 1, you know, we go down to the bottom. Oh, there's actually a bunch, but still, there's a lot of people still doing waves when they don't necessarily have to. But I hate Hell Week. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of hating Hell Week. You guys know that. Let's see, Rebels. I want to try to avoid anyone R9. So let's do this. This should be another 0.5. We still got Conquest to do. I'm actually at the easy part of Conquest. I haven't finished. I've been going a little bit slower. But I'm at the part where it's really just grinding out battles rather than doing anything else. Yeah, New Instinct, we've been in a holding pattern on TB for a very long time, so it's been very low effort in everything. So we've been having to retrain the guild to have to put in effort, because we decided to shift from the 39 strategy to the 41, 42 strategy. And it does require heavy battle effort on a lot of the days. So that has been a learning experience, trying to get people back on board. And I think a lot of people don't remember the LSTB days where you pretty much had to do all of the battles because they were important. We probably are. I think I'm at like 570 points. My strategy for Conquest is typically to take my time to get through as far as I can to Sector 5, but to get to farming bonus nodes as quickly as possible. And then I relax. Once I'm farming bonus nodes, I'm happy. The last 2 Conquest cycles were just so easy that I was trying to push, like, as a personal goal to see how low I could push those battles. But that's not my usual strategy. Okay, so Night Sisters would be a good option here, because Night Sisters don't really work super well here. It says Knights, well, they go 1 for 2. I wonder if I do that on manual. I'll try Knight. Let's see. What to do. I do have my Night Sisters, and that would free up. This is one point where I kind of wish I had an R9 JML to try that mission on light side. What do I want to do here? You know what? I'm going to do Night Sisters here. And then we'll do LV there. And that should be alright. How low did I go on battle count? So I did not track in the last one. But for the Queen Amidala one, I got to Red Crate in 137 battles. Which to me is insane. And I was very meticulous about tracking those battles. Man, I love these Night Sisters. And once I have Morgan and the Great Mothers at like relics and shit, I'm doing all of the Night Sisters to Relic 8 because they're just such a great team in TB. I don't know how the Great Mothers perform in TB because of the whole no revive thing, but I just love the team. I love my Night Sisters. I really love my Night Sisters. They were my first... I'm not even passionate about Night Sisters. In reality, I don't give a shit about them. But once I got Merrin up, I decided to do the Merrin special mission. And once I was able to... Oh, it's not the Merrin special mission. Once I was able to do the Merrin special mission, I was like, you know what? Let me just get them up one more level and see how they do. And they have... they're so good. Alright. I actually lost this battle on manual yesterday. Or on auto yesterday, rather. Which is insane. Let's see. I don't refuse to farm anything. I mean, like Cal Kestis, I fucking hate Cal Kestis. I think he's a shitty character. I think he's fucking stupid. But I'm still gonna farm. I still farmed him. And he's a great character in this game. Like, I'm never gonna be at a point where I'm gonna gimp my own account just because I refuse to farm something. Night Sisters are huge for relying... This Conquest cycle, they're insane. Mine are always at low. And by the way, guys, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you know about this. I have not made a video on this on purpose. And I know I told Fat Phil about this, and he didn't make a video on this on purpose too. But Death Trooper Peridia dying in Sector 5 counts as him getting kills. So if you're having trouble getting Death Trooper Peridia kills, and you have a Night Sisters team, you can get a bunch of kills per battle just watching him die. Though even at G11, mine has been getting regular kills with, like, Bite. Nice. Easy battle. Let's call that another 1. Plus 1, so we're at about 5.75. So I've done enough combats for almost 2 people at this point. I just don't like the Fallen Order games. I don't think they're that interesting of games. My opinion on them have actually significantly changed in the last maybe 6 months. So what I will say is that Fallen Order is an entertaining game. I just don't think it's a very good Star Wars game. I think you could reskin Fallen Order to just about anything else, and it would be the same exact game. There's nothing that I find about it that actually makes it Star Wars other than, like, that one spoiler fight. which has been out long enough that I don't really think it's a spoiler anymore, but I'm still going to be cognizant. And I think out of the Joe Everyman characters, he is the least interesting one. I think Kyle Katarn he's basically the Temu Kyle Katarn, to me, anyway. Alright. We're doing good here. This will probably close on its own. Let's do some dark side shit here. Just dark side, dark side. Though, I've never tried C here. I'm going to just try C. I've done plenty of combat points. Let's just see if it works. See if it works. Oof. I actually, you know what's funny, Astra, that you say that, is I hate using SLKR on that battle. Because I just find he doesn't do anything. I feel like SLKR is not reliable in those battles. And anytime I use him, I end up dying almost immediately. Okay, well, clearly C is not going to work here. Maybe I'll get some combat points. Nope, we will get 0. Okay, so let's scratch C off of our list of things that can do that battle. And just for shits and giggles... Oh, what's this? Let's see. Oh, Jedi Knight Luke. Jedi Knight Luke lead would be interesting here. Let's do Ahsoka. You can underman some missions. Kessel. So I don't think everybody knows this or realizes this, but Kessel, you can actually 4-man a lot of these missions. I don't think you can 4-man the Jabba one. But these other ones, even though it says 5 characters, you actually don't need 5 characters. So I 4-manned this with, you know, just whatever. With Night Sisters, rather. And I think it's also Felucia that some of the battles you only need 4. You can 4-man, just not every battle. Right? Kessel you can, and I would show you. I actually have a video on YouTube of me doing it, right? I'll pull it up because... Right, where is it? Video channel, blah, 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 playlist. Kessel. Where is Kessel? Auto 4-man Kessel. Night Sister Kessel, undermanned. Let's go to this one. Right, so like here, even though it says 5 characters, you can go in with 4, right? We're doing the mods and everything. We don't really need to look at the mods right now. Modding. So let's go here. You're attempting to enter the battle. Right, loading the battle, and 4 guys. But not every battle can do it, and it's kind of a trial and error thing to figure out which battles are able to do it. I think it's just Felucia and Kessel where you can do it on some of the battles. All right. So yes, I know Amidala works here. So one of my guildmates just did it. I did not relic 9 my Amidala. My Amidala is still 7. I don't feel the need to relic 9 her because I already do the average my guild needs for me for let's see. Well, we're just gonna try this and see what the hell happens. The worst that happens is I get no points. Yeah, I did not R9 her for the raid because I didn't need her. Now, with that said, I actually do think that Amidala is the smartest raid team you could get. It's smarter to do than Gungans for most people. However, because I went all in on Gungans, I didn't really need those points. My guild is a little bit more relaxed on the raid. We only need to do an average of 5.3 million, and I do an average of 8.5 to 9 million. So it's just not a necessity for me to get those extra points, and getting the extra Mark III currency wouldn't do anything for me. I would never make back that currency. So I've kept her at R7. I would consider doing her to R8, but Belloc told me that the R8 tier is actually harder, so it's really not worth doing. Okay, we are going to hit this. Yeah, my guild does not go for the highest tier. We have too many people that just don't want to do that. Well, that was shitty because I'm not going to be able to... Oh, actually I can. We have a hard enough time hitting the 270 whatever box it is because people just don't want to do it. And, like, I get it. I understand. It isn't fun. With that said, though, like, will we do the next tier with the next raid? I mean, maybe. It depends. We've replaced a bunch of people in the last 3 months because they just fell off in terms of participation and things. And we have more people more interested in doing that tier. It just, from an ROI standpoint right now, doesn't make sense. So it might end up being like the next raid will end up going for it. I mean, I don't want to say I'm going to win now, but I'm really surprised at how well I'm doing with this team. Oh, that's so beautiful. Look at that. So we end today with about 6.5 million combat points from just these battles, which is really nice. Let's see what my guild needs at this point. So we need 396, 6 minus 357, so 39 here. Plus 500 minus 473, so 66 between the two. 30 minus 510, 286 minus 227. So we're at a minus 59 right now. So we're going to tell the guild that. We're going to let them know. I'm actually going to let my game desync for a second so I can use Hotbot. Alright, so we're going to let that load. Hotbot is thinking. My session expired, I know that. And while we're dealing with that, we do have some housekeeping now that my TB is done. So we're going to pop over to Discord just really, really quickly before we load back into the game. We started a thing 2 weeks ago. Where is my Discord? There it is. So we started a thing 2 weeks ago where I'm going to start randomly upgrading characters at G12 to G13. I pick 10 characters every 2 weeks. You guys vote on them. As of 10/4, which was the day that we ended this, the overwhelming reaction was Luthen Real. So we're going to take care of that. We're going to bring him to Relics. There is currently another pull-up for another 10 characters that we'll do on 10/18. So if you're interested in me doing something useful, you know, it seems like some people want me to do some useful things. Or if we're interested in seeing me do something that is kind of shit and not worth it, you know, then that's fine too. 10/18 will be the day that we do that. So let's pop back into the game. And here we are. I never really wanted to do Luthen. Did not seem useful enough for me. I was very vocally against doing him, but it looks like you guys told me I have to. The commitment was just to Relic 0 because I want to bring my whole... I want to bring everything to Relic 0. But we'll bring him to Relic 5 if I have. I think I have enough for that. Might as well make him usable, right? Alright, let's see. What do we got here? He needs potency, I think, right? No, you can't just give me the one fucking thing that I want. Of course not. Why would you be able to? Alright, whatever. I got something. He's usable now. And so you can see, I did my raid yesterday because I knew we had so much to do roster review wise that I just would not have time to do reviews and raid. It looks like we are slacking a little bit because it is Hell Week. Yeah, I mean, I probably will bring him high enough to do the Saw mission eventually. I've heard that he makes it audible. I know he's going to be useful for my account, so I'm not, like, mad. I do want to bring everything to Relics, and that was the whole purpose of doing these votes. That I want to bring everything to Relics, but I'm also a little bit of a hoarder, so that kind of forces me to do it. For characters that I wouldn't normally bring up on my own. As far as Peridia as a bonus planet, I don't think we're going to be getting that in the near future. I do firmly believe that Ahsoka and Baylan are going to be attached to the next raid. If you think about it, we're looking at the next raid sometime around February, if the cadence stays roughly the same. Right now we're in October, and neither Baylan or Ahsoka are out yet. And we do know that Ezra will be out before Ahsoka. So we know that Ahsoka won't be out until at least mid-November. And I just do not see there being enough time for them to put out other stuff for the raid. Especially when you look at things like Jabba was out well before Crate. Leia was out about a month and a half before Naboo. Gungans were out about a month and a half before... well, actually, the whole team was out about a month before the raid. But the 4-man, which still could max, was out many months before. So I think Peridia is going to be the next raid planet, and I've been very vocally on that. So when that happens, I'm the one that's been saying that, not other people. With all of that said, I am out of coffee. I'm going to go grab myself some water and go to the bathroom real quick. So I will be right back. Give me about a minute, and we will get to Conquest and see what needs to be done with Conquest. Okay, it looks like my Be Right Back screen is screwed up. We'll have to figure that out later. It's probably because I moved things on my computer, and now my computer is confused about where they are. But I'll deal with that after we're done here. I just noticed that you guys were staring at a random ad and then just a black screen. Let's see what we got here for Conquest. 59 minutes. There we go. Right, yeah. Okay. Conquest, Galactic Battles. So I am at 570. Now, last Conquest, I did not do Imperial Remnant wins because my Imperial Remnant are just not good. I don't have a team at Relics, right? Where are they? Here they are. Right? Like, I have Gideon and Dark Trooper and Pilot. I haven't been using them. You should have, but if you did, then you did, and you didn't, you didn't. I clicked the fancy YouTube thing that said, I'm away, so put an ad here and nobody misses anything. If you didn't get one, I don't care. But anyway, the point is that I've been using the new Peridia characters, and just, like, in Sector 1, I was trying to get Decay by losing, like, as a suicide team, and they just kept winning, right? So they beat this team, and then they beat, I think it was this team, and then they actually beat both of these teams, like, with only Scout Trooper at Relic. And at that point I said, you know what, fuck it, we are going to just go for Imperial Trooper wins just for the fun of it. I do need more Peridia, fucking Geonosian Spy. Okay, so we're gonna do this here. These guys are kind of low. I don't really care if I win or not. So that should be 1 Peridia kill, because again, it should be counting itself for whatever reason. That should be 2. Yeah, I forget about ad block. I do not use ad block. I don't use any type of ad blockers. My thought process, and this has always been my thought process even before doing video myself, is as long as ads are reasonable, so as long as it's not like a 5-minute ad constantly, you know, I enjoy the fact that services are free. And if everybody uses ad blockers, then, you know, the way that services monetize will change. And I'd prefer things to be free, and I'd prefer, you know, that money to go wherever it needs to go. So as long as it's not like a cancer-inducing website, I typically just let it go. All right. I don't think this is going to win this battle. But since Death Trooper deaths are counting, even if he dies once, I should get it. Okay, maybe it will win this battle. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I will take it. Gives me a productive battle. Look at that. And Death Trooper Peridia. Now that was 2 battles with Peridia, so this might not work with him so low. Where are my Conquest teams? Let's see. Get me some Imperial Remnants. I experimented a lot with this team during this conquest because I was so fascinated by the fact that they were winning all of these battles that I feel like they shouldn't have been winning. So I have a lot of like losses on different things just to see if things would work. And I'm just so surprised by how amazing this team has been. And I feel like once I have them up and running, that it is going to be a favorite team of mine for Conquest. It also made a stagger with Scout Trooper just so insane. I didn't even have to think about it. I didn't have to cheese it. I was done with 100 staggers by the end of the first by the end of the first sector. This is insane. Like, most of them aren't even relicked, and they're now at low stamina for a non-relic team. Peridia's at, I don't even know, 50? This might be where they start to lose, though. guess not. Still gonna win. Yeah, you know, I'm at a point in the game where the only thing I have to farm is these characters. So I understand that they're not for everybody. Basically, anything that's not completely brand new, I have at G12. And that's obviously not the situation that everybody is in. And I understand that, and I get that. I've been playing a very long time. I've been playing efficiently for a very long time. This is going to be where they start to lose. And if they don't, this will be the last battle that they win, most likely. Ironically, I need one more battle with these guys. Or not. I guess I don't need any more. So that's perfect. That worked out beautifully. Alright. So we got that. We have 8 of 8. What do we need here? 3 of 4 of these stupid fucking kills here. And then I think I need pretty similar here. Right, I need Acolytes surviving. And I'm not doing Geonosians. I hate a spy surviving is so fucking well. What if we do? I only need surviving now, so I do have a volatile accelerator. I don't need evasive techniques. Don't really need that anymore. Imp, Lord Vader. And then Geonosians, Brood Alpha, and Spy. This should do it too. Yep. There we go. It's all about productive battles. You want every battle to be a productive battle. I wait to put the volatile accelerator on because when you need like other feats, kill feats and everything, this volatile accelerator doesn't really help you out much. No, there is no ZA. And you know what really pisses me off? I did not get a voluntary Vanguard last time. And I got a voluntary Vanguard this time, literally only in the bonus Sector 5, like here. So it was useless to me, which is really annoying because it's my favorite data disk. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do it on this battle. Well, shouldn't matter. I meant to do that on the bonus note, but then you guys distracted me. It's just so silly, right? This is going a lot faster than I thought it would, though. We'll say that. Yeah, Voluntary Vanguard is a really great pushing disc. I don't typically use it myself because it's not great for cheesing most feats. It's great for surviving feats, obviously. But typically, the surviving feats are not this stupid. So I don't typically need it. Alright, and what do we need here? This is Acolyte, right? Acolyte surviving, 10 of 15. Well, I guess I can do one battle with these guys. Before they all are at 0 stamina. Though, you know what? I can do this with CLS now. Okay. Let's see how this works. Maybe not as good on this node. Oh, still works. How low it will work, I have no idea. Perfect. Look at this. Maybe we'll finish it today. Ooh. All right. Well, might have to wait for my Inquisitors to be a little bit revived and do it tomorrow. Because I think Acolyte does need to survive, right? Yeah, Acolyte needs to survive. But it's fine because these are still productive battles. Let's see. What else can we do to try? Hey, Fire Marshal. I love you too. I got a kick out of your note yesterday. After I sent that stuff. I was like, oh, he gets it. Great. Alright, so I need 5 more points. There's only 4 here. Oh, actually, I only need 4 more points. So I could do this with Inquisitors later, too. Right? Because I don't think you get any free stamina boosters, if I'm correct. Yeah, you don't get any stamina boosters. Alright, so we're just gonna burn this. And I can do that later. Let's see what we can do here. What do we have? Imperial Remnants. There's really nothing I can do with Imperial Remnants, so I'm not concerned about that one. Dark side characters, factions. Imperial Remnant Night Sisters. I already have the Night Sisters one that I need. So I need light side. Now it's more dark side. Yeah, fuck it. Let's gamble a little bit more because I don't have a lot of datacrons anyway. Light side. Jedi characters. Alright, let's see what we get. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't pay attention to the shopping list. Do we have it? Where is your shopping list? Let's see. Let's see what your shopping list is. Where do you have it? In the TW area? Shopping list, shopping list. Where did you fucking put your shopping list? TW General. Where the fuck is your shopping list? Did you delete it? DC room. Oh, there's a DC. I didn't even know that there was a DC room on Discord. Let's see. Discord, DC room. Where the fuck is the DC room? This is how much I fucking pay attention to it. Is it up here in general? DC. Oh, there it is. Shorty's Datacrons. Ah, okay. Let's see. You're not required as fan. Alright, so Ethkoth. I don't have Ethkoth. Plo Koon. I do have Plo Koon. Gideon. I don't have Gideon at Relics, so no. Master Qui-Gon I don't have. I have finished none of this. I don't have Radis. I have the other one. But I was planning on re-rolling this. Alright, look at that. Now I have Master Qui-Gon. Isn't that nice? And then... Can I re-roll Cassian? Yeah, I don't want Cassian. Well, Luthen is actually at Relics now, so Luthen would not be not useful. Oh, thank you. Well, I just got the Master Qui-Gon relic, level 1. Gideon, Admiral Radis, Plo Koon. Plo Koon. Is there even a fucking Radis one? I'm thinking Luthen, now that I have him. I mean, whenever Pow assists, he deals massive damage, but Pow is strong. Fire Marshal, I'll leave it up to you. What do you want me to do? Luthen or Pow? I'll allow you to make that decision for me. I have the K2SO already. So I feel like they did nerf it, the Gideon one. Summon special, Moff Gideon. Yeah, so I have Plo Koon. ETH they nerfed since before you posted this. Nena says POW for funsies. It would be fun to put in a JML squad. But the problem is, so for GAC, I put all of my GLs on defense. And I don't think that if I put POW with like JML, that the computer will use it correctly. So I think I'm going to go with Luthen on this, and I'm going to override. We're going to override whatever Fire Marshal was about to say anyway. And what do we got? We got Master Qui-Gon. What do I want for the level 6 for that? Stun on special for Master Qui-Gon. Alright, so that. Stun, they gain speed up. Reflect expose. The alley. Alright, well this is not the one we want, right? We want stun on special, but let's see if we can get that. We have a lot of these reroll materials. There we go. Okay, and I think my Plo Kron has stun on special. No, it has this. I'm gonna keep that if I can't get it though. Look at that, Fire Marshal, you showed up, and here I am, changing around my Datacrons for you. Is this the one that you want for K2SO? Is that what you call the mini Jin one? Oh no, this one. We want this one, right? With Jin Erso. She assists whenever another... Okay, let's see if we can get it. Don't ever say that I don't do anything for you. Because these are things that I would not normally do. Is this what I want for Night Sisters? Let's see. Night Sisters... Inflicted the buff, they deal damage to the enemy max health whenever an enemy... I feel like I want this one, right? Inflict the debuff, get extra stuff. Best level 6 words. But then there's no Night Sister one that has tons of words. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. They're all pretty similar in terms of word count. Required my ass. I did a lot for you. If I'm looking at this Datacron list, I went from just having the Plokron not as good to the Plokron you wanted, to the Admiral Radis you wanted, to the Master Qui-Gon you wanted. So I've done quite a bit. We want potency. I don't... Actually, did I get the... Oh yeah, I do. I have the Tankron. And for this, I have the Tankron. Okay. All right, look at that. And I actually crossed 10.1 million, which is beautiful. We are pretty much done in game. And then we'll go on to these roster reviews that we have available to us. Let's just check this out. See how we're progressing. Okay, good. This is almost where I want it. Let's see, 360, so we need 36. So this is what I do in the morning at like 5 in the morning. 15, so there's about 15 million left here. There's about 7, so about 20 some odd million there. These two battles are very few people have, so 370. Let's change this to 375. Here we could go, honestly, all the way to 180. We have 180 left. Let's do this to 100. This could go to 620 first, so we can hit that star. This has 18 left. There's 10 here. There should be plenty to max this without having to do anything. All right. So we look like we are good. Perfect. Now, I am going to refill my water, and I am going to see if I can fix this be right back screen. And I am going to go to the bathroom. And then we're going to see if we can get through all 5 roster reviews today. I've got 5. I think one actually popped in after, so actually 6. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them, but it is still early in the morning. So we'll see what's up there. We're going to pop back over to Discord. Q. What is Q? Isn't Spaceman cute? Yes. Yes, he is. Roster reviews. We're going to pop over to Liam. And again, give me 2 minutes and we will be right back. Okay, Bones, what's with that weird gif? Here we go. Well, we'll see if all of that reset, right? Because .gg's update, it updates at like once a day at different times. So we'll see what actually got updated for you. And you're here, but we're still going to timestamp this stuff just in case you want to go back to it later. I'm going to say 1:30, and let's see what we got here. .gg account. What's top 20 of your fleet? I don't need exacts. Mixo Leviathan Executor Summer Fundity. I'm able to get 1 every day. You are coordinating with your fleet Discord. Very good. That's what we need to be doing. CT1 to CT3. The only one you're doing at CT3 is one of the hardest ones, which is really interesting to me. A lot of these should be CT3. And we're going to take a look at that to see what we can kind of shore up for you. What are you currently working on? Omicrons, QA and Riva, Zetas, SOKR, 501st, 3-pack, Jedi Knight Luke, Gear, General Grievous, Relics, GG Droids, Poncho Brothers. After, I'm thinking of going to finish JML 8 of 16, with many being a hop, skip, and a jump away, Phoenix Profundity, and then maybe doing Balin as a personal project. Are you dead set? Current projects, yes. Other projects, not so sure. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun? Are there any favorite characters? I'd eventually like to get both Echoes to R9 due to the characters being my favorite in the show. And I get that. That's why, what's her name? Marin is R9. That's why I have R9 Gungans and committed to that before it was like the thing to do. It's why my Kyle Katarn is R8. He will most likely be R9 eventually. There's too much going on right now for me to be able to do that. Well, I mean, I don't typically look at exact zetas, to be completely honest. It's not super important in the grand scheme of things, you know, because we're looking at more long-term stuff anyway. Let's see, Star Wars.gg. Oh, and that's just there. Okay. So we have your profile, Kyber 4, doing it with Executor, so that's nice. You know, I know that some people are doing that. It's a little bit on the tougher side, but if you're doing it, then that's perfect. 7.3 million. Yeah, Squad Arena. Collectors, 2 GLs. I'm assuming Lightspeed bundles for them, because having both of those and nothing else, it is a signal of that, but it doesn't matter. Let's see. Raid history. So you're doing about 3 million in the raid. Your guild needs you to do about 3 million if they want to hit the 107 or the 130 box, you know, like 2.7 million. Battle for Naboo. You said you're bringing, are you bringing the Puncher Bros to R9 or just to R7? Or I should say, you don't really need to bring that 3-man to R9. I'm just curious if that's part of your plan. You know, you're kind of performing where your guild needs you to perform, to be completely honest. But, I mean, I enjoy that assault battle. I think it's super useful. And for a lot of people, they're going to do Queen Amidala too. I don't particularly think that it is something that's necessary with where you're at. Just a curiosity. I do want to... You will be. Okay. I do want to look at your assault battles because I just feel like maybe there's some we could shore up. Bounty hunters, all right. Let's see. You have Riva Inquisitors. So I'm going to tell you right now, Forest Moon. Yeah, you know, we don't know. I would say we're cutting it towards the end of the ROI point rather than being super close, but I understand, and that's why I'm not taking mine to R9. I don't need to. I'm already hitting my average. The Inquisitors can do Forest Moon at CT3. I do not know the exact strategy. It'll probably require, you know, a little bit of remodding to make sure that you have the speeds high enough. And it will be worth doing because it'll be essentially free. But it is very, very possible and not terribly hard to do Forest Moon at CT3 with these guys once you have Reva. Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca. Do you have Mon Mothma yet? Not yet, but you are. Where is she? Is she even 7 stars? No, not yet. Okay. So Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO. Chewpio, you were working on the Zetas, right? But where is he? Why can't I fucking see him? You forgot about it because you probably finished it well before that was a thing. Okay, so he's not 5-star yet. Yeah, and the same with me. I did it way before it was possible. Obviously, you can do Places of Power at CT3. I get why some people don't want to do it because you would be doing it with First Order. Where the fuck is First Order? I didn't even do Dark Trooper, man. I did Piet at R8, Veers and Stark at R3, Snow Trooper, and Range Trooper at G12. And I don't think the Ewoks got a single turn after their first turn. Yeah, so I get why you might not want to do Places of Power because you're not going to 3-star it. So I understand that. I don't push people to do it. It's a pain in the ass and it takes a lot of time. Jedi. With Jedi Knight Luke, I mean, your Jedi look to be in decent enough order where you probably don't need Jedi Master Luke to CT3 this. But obviously the goal is 0 speed on Jedi Knight Luke. to do ground war. So you'd want him to be as slow as absolutely possible, and then Hermit Yoda as fast as absolutely possible, right? And I would probably use Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Knight Revan, Hermit Yoda. Really want a tank in there, whereas General Kenobi might be slightly low for it. It might be tough. And you might even want to use Jolee just for the revive, just in case. But if you do it right and you call that event special at the very end of each round so that Jedi Knight Luke slows everybody down at the beginning of each round, you should be able to do that even before getting Jedi Master Luke. Secrets and Shadows, Phoenix. Secrets and Shadows, if you bring Captain Rex even to just like G12, and I know it's hard because he does require Chirotech, but I think overall it might be worth it since you bought the Lightspeed bundle for these guys. I see like you haven't modded them, so you'll have to temporarily mod them for this. But I would recommend it because you will build up enough Chirotech and other stuff over time, versus when you would like want to build them overall otherwise. Sith. Let's see. We'll check out your Sith. Oh, these are not too bad. I don't know how Bane does there. I would... If I were in your position, I'm not saying it would be super easy, and again, you'd probably have to remod, but I would probably do Palpatine as the tank, Darth Malak, Darth Traya, Darth Nihilus, and I mean, Bane or Scion. Scion might be the better option there, because it's really, the goal when you do this before having Sith Eternal is to go pretty slow and steady through each round so that you can start each next round with Nihilus taking out the leader. Because a lot of people don't realize this, but the leader has like a morale buff that helps everybody else, and if you take that out, it gives them like a morale debuff, which helps to take out each round. But the whole goal is you want to get at least one Annihilate per round, and you want it to be at the beginning of the round, and then taking out each thing slow enough that you have Annihilate back up for the next round. And you can do more than one Annihilate, but you have to make sure that you're doing it slow enough that he can continue to Annihilate. But that's what I would do is Palpatine, Malak, Traya, Nihilus. And then again, that fifth slot is kind of open, but I think Scion, just because he's going to be more tanky, and all of your damage is really coming from Nihilus, and then Malak too with his special move. But that's probably the way that I would do it based on what you currently have. Let's see. Tools, gear needed. No, I always do that. I hit gear needed. Jedi Master Luke, 720. 1220. Executor, Profundity. Aphra. Nobody cares about Aphra. Don't have Cal, Leviathan, Leia. Jar Jar, you have that. Okay. Interesting. And let's see. I'm thinking of finishing Jedi Master Luke, Phoenix, Profundity, and then maybe doing Balin as a personal project. What I would say is, and again, I'm not somebody that likes to speculate, but I do pretty strongly believe that Balin and Ahsoka are going to be part of the next raid. So what I would say here is that if that's true, Balin and Ahsoka are going to end up being the featured teams, And I think that just like Ahsoka, or just like Jar Jar was the harder team to get, and Poncho Bros was a little bit easier, especially because they made them both Cantina nodes. Queen Amidala notwithstanding, because Queen Amidala was a Conquest character. That Baylan is going to be the more free-to-play friendly of the two featured teams. The trade-off is we don't know if Baylan is going to be a monthly event like Bo-Katan, or if it's going to be a 3-month event like, like Malik was, or like whatever the other ones, like Gas was. And Ahsoka will be a permanent event, but it's going to be a lot harder to get with all of the R9s, and I don't think with where your roster is right now, it's a really smart move to necessarily go for that. So if you're going to do anything as a personal project, Baylan might be the risk worth taking. At your level, anytime I see an account at, like 7 to 8 million or above that doesn't have Jedi Master Luke, it kind of does blow my mind. He gives you so much. It'll make Ground War easier for you if you're struggling with it. It will give you CT3 military might. It is going to increase your conquest viability just tenfold. He's going to help with proving grounds. Jedi Master Luke is really solid in most of the proving grounds, for any of the ones that you haven't done. And then, you've heard me talk about this. You've heard me say it before. It puts you in like that little micro ecosystem of Jedi Master Luke, Jabba, Profundity, and Leia, which all have requirements that kind of feed off of each other, right? And as much as I would want to tell you, hey, do Jedi Master Luke right into Jabba, I've already learned that most people don't listen to me when it comes to that. But it puts you in a position to like go back to it each time, right? So like if you were to do Jedi Master Luke while you were passively farming the Baylan stuff, finishing up the Baylan stuff, and I think I would do Profundity before finalizing Phoenix. It's just really important, I think, to have multiple GL ships, especially if you want to stay in Kyber and compete in Kyber. And especially, like, I know that we did not get a fleet meta shift this year, and Punishing One is supposed to be kind of like a soft meta shift. Oh, it's awesome that you have them all done, because I wouldn't have expected that. And I know I didn't look through the characters, but just at your level. It's kind of like a soft meta shift with Punishing One, because it's not supposed to be the top-end fleet, and it's not supposed to help with Leviathan, but CG has been wrong about that kind of shit in the past. I think it is very useful to be on top of, even if you're getting the free shards each month, at least being in a position where you're getting those fleet shards each month. So I definitely see that as being a solid move. If I were in your position, if this was my account, I would just be doing that microcosm of doing, Jedi Master Luke into Profundity into Jabba. But knowing that we're more like 60-40, I would say do Jedi Master Luke, passively farm your Baylan. Even if it's just the 5 battles a day, I personally 1x refresh anything new. But finishing Jedi Master Luke, doing Baylan as a passive farm, going into Profundity. Phoenix is a great team, but I don't necessarily think that they're a required team for you unless it's like something that you're doing for yourself and for fun. Finishing up Baylan as those requirements kind of work into what you need to be done. And I really wouldn't sleep on Jabba. You have Duel of the Fates, which is nice, and Duel of the Fates is getting you like a mini Smuggler's Run 2 each month, with the mod materials through, I think it's tier 3. But Jabba it changes the game on that. And I would go after it sooner rather than later, but I would be leveraging the new things that you feel you need with the old things that are super important, right? And obviously punishing one is going to be something that you're not going to want to sleep on since you have an executor, since that is your meta fleet. You're going to want to make sure that even if you don't get punishing one to 7 stars, that you at the very, very, very least get it to a point where you can finish it quickly once it becomes farmable, right? So getting it at least, I would say, to 5 or 6 stars, depending on the energy that's on. If it's a cantina chase, that's awesome because you can burn so many crystals and build up your signal data. It might be a conquest thing. The fact that Dengar is the monthly tune for this character leads me to believe that it probably will be a chase personally, right? Not next week, but the week after. But it's just something to think about. I do not think that JMK is a priority tune. That's my hot take. He's a great tune. He's an awesome tune. He's a great, great, great character. He's a very strong character. He works really great in GAC. He works really great in Conquest, but that's all he is. He's a strong character. He's a strong team. But everything else gives you a strong team, plus it gives you something else, right? So like Jabba gives you a strong team, plus it gives you Smuggler's Run 2, and it'll finish Rebel Roundup for you. JML is a strong team, plus he's the hands-down best Conquest character in the game, plus it'll finalize some of the assault battles for you. Profundity is a strong team, plus, just fleets in general can make or break somebody all the way up to Kyber 2. Leia is a strong team, plus it gives you Ender Escalation, which is not that amazing an event, but it still works. Balin is a strong team, plus presumably he's going to be a featured raid team. Again, I say presumably very strongly here. Jedi Master Kenobi is a strong team, full stop. That's what he does. He's like a B+ team without Cat. He's an A+ team without Cat. But there's a lot of other A+ teams out there. So for me, at least, I don't personally see him as a requirement. Yeah, but 7-star for any accelerated farm, the star amount for the characters is negligible. It'll never be your limiting factor, ever. Even the on accelerated farms, it's very rarely that the shards are the things that you're waiting on. So them being 7 stars is irrelevant, right? You look at your gear tracker here, you're fairly close to it, but I would put this under personal farm rather than required farm. That's where I would say that this is a personal farm right now. And if you want to do it, it's a personal farm. Jedi Master Luke is an ROI solid strong farm. You need half of the Chirotech. You're double as close to him at this point in the game. He's the character that makes sense. As for an accuracy arrow on JMK, it comes down to whether you get a good accuracy arrow. What people don't understand is that speed arrows are used just because speed is God. But if you can get a speed arrow that has 4 or 5 rolls of speed as a secondary, it's almost always better to use a different arrow. So if you get an accuracy arrow that has 4 rolls of speed or 5 rolls of speed, that's awesome on JMK because you're not losing a lot of speed. I just got a 5-roll offense arrow, which I'm looking for a place to put on somebody because it's got like plus 25 speed, 24 speed, so I lose 6 speed. but I get so much more offense on it. I would say for you, I would do Jedi Master Luke hands down, no questions asked. I would slow farm Balin Skull as like leveraging against the next raid. I would work on Profundity. I would work on Jabba. I would push towards Balin once your shards are there, right? So slow farm towards it, work on him, work on his gear as each of those guys becomes not usable, as each of those guys hits 7 stars. At that point, you're hitting a point where you can start working on luxury farms. So at that point, after you have Jedi Master Luke, after you have Profundity, after you have Jabba, after Balin is done, that's where you can say, you know what? I want to do a farm that's really for me, like only for me. And that is where you're going to find like your Jedi Master Kenobi. That is where you're going to find, honestly, your guild. They're going to probably start asking you about Cal Kestis in the next 6 months and asking for that. Yeah, but all of those things are going to help you in GAC, to be quite honest. They're all solid teams. Every single one of them. JML, not the greatest defensive team unless you really go gung-ho defense, because then your opponent really has to decide what to use where. But that's how I would run it. I would make sure that those ROI points are there, and at that point, that's where JMK comes into the cards. I would say Leia above JMK personally, just because there's a little bit of ROI, even though it's not great. But that's where you can decide, do I want to go for Leia? Do I want to go for JMK? Again, I would not sleep on Punishing One, because that is your core fleet right now. So even if you don't 7-star it, at the very least, making sure that you prioritize it to get it to a usable spot where you can capitalize on it pretty quickly. Does all of that make sense? Do you have any other questions? Anything? I'll just quietly read Reddit while I wait. I personally think that BKM is a better shot than Jedi Knight Cal Kestis for those characters, and I think especially now that Beskar Bo-Katan Mandalore is becoming especially now that Bo-Katan Mandalore is starting to become accelerated, those characters are starting to hit that. One of the big reasons that I think that is that the mission is so much easier. Like, it is disgustingly easier compared to Zepho. Zepho isn't necessarily a hard mission, but it does have a lot more RNG related to it. People seem to struggle with it. And guilds doing it for the first couple months, they might unlock it 1 month, not unlock it the next month. Once you have Bo-Katan, that battle is a no-brainer. And Bo-Katan is, Cal Kestis is great in PvP too, but Bo-Katan, I think, just edges out a little bit more. So, between the two, I personally think 6 months ago, maybe Jedi Knight Cal Kestis made more sense. Now, as like I think Paz Vizsla just became accelerated, now as we start to hit that, I think it just makes more sense to push for Bo-Katan first. All right, so let's move on. Oh, and hi, Lady Geek. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Well, I see you on Discord all the time. No, I think you were here at the last brunch. I don't remember. I don't know why anyone relies on me for memory-related things, because I don't have a good one. All right, let's go to this next one. Gameplay, Star Wars.gg, Discord. No, we want GG. Okay. Where's my timestamp? Ah, there it is. 157. 157.30. And it'll be timestamped for you once we're done. Top 20 fleets from Omega. Top 20 fleets, 4 profundities, Rust Executor, 7 stars. Are you coordinating? Yes, although there are 2 to 3 non-communicative R9s that enjoy sniping. Oh, fuck them. You know what? We had people like that, and then you just keep targeting them. And I don't see that as a mafia move. I see that as a communication move. If they're trying to screw everybody else over, everybody else should be just hitting them whenever they want and messaging them and saying, hey, man, like, listen, if you want to communicate with us, we're welcome. We're open to that. And letting them know, just like, we're open to working together. But if you're going to screw other people over, then we're going to make sure you don't get your rewards as well. I got you. And I don't mean that as a negative thing. It's just nice to chat with you. And I see you on Discord all the time, too. And I like to see friendly faces. Assault battles. Targets before Jabba. CT2, CT2. CT1 is the target. CT3 is the target. CT3 is the target. Now, the only problem is when you say target, I don't know where you are now. So we'll have to look at those. What are you currently working on? GAC, AB teams, currently gearing CLS and Sith. Okay, so we'll go back to that as I get to these things. Are you currently dead set on continuing? Yes. Other farms are to be done slowly during after Jabba. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun? Catch up returning accounts, so 100% value. Are there any favorite characters? At some point, Darth Malik, although unsure where it fits between now, Jabba, Profundity. I don't know if I'm going to be able to help you, man, because you seem to have it down to exactly what I would probably tell you anyway. But let's see what we got. 3 million. Roasting the Gamorrean Guard. At 6 stars, I don't know what you've been hitting rank-wise, but at 5 stars, I don't know why I said 6, but at 5 stars, you should be able to hit 1 every day, other than the whole sniping issue. Let's see. Roasting. No GLs yet. I want to check out these assault battles. Places of power. Okay, so our goal is with Sith, which you did say. If you get Nihilus to G12, you will be able to do Places of Power to CT2. I'm going to tell you that I did CT2 of Places of Power with no relics. When I did Places of Power CT2, it was Papa Palp lead at G11, I think it was. Darth Vader at G11, maybe G12. Count Dooku at G12. I had him at G12 for territory wars or territory battles. I found him useful just because he kept healing because of counterattacks. I don't necessarily think he needs to be at G12. Nihilus at G12. And I think I used Revan at like G9. But your Treya should be fine. So if you were to do like Papa Palp, and you'll have to probably remod, right? All for speed. We look at this defense mod. This is like a cancerous mod right here, having a speed mod that has literally no speed on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. What is this? Fucking level this up. Just to get that plus 30 speed. But if you remod these guys... Oh, God. right? Like a speed arrow that doesn't have speed on it. That's kind of crazy, even just as like a regular mod to have. But if you remod these guys for speed and you do Papa Palp Lead, Traya, Darth Vader, Nihilus, and probably Savage just because he's R5, the whole purpose, the way that you go about doing this is doing it as slow as possible and getting those Nihilus annihilates every single round. And you can get that at 3-star even with these characters the way that they are. You just want to make sure that you annihilate in round 1 and then go slow enough that you have annihilate up to start the next round. And it's not really about, like, it doesn't have to be the first move that happens, you know, like the turn meter wise, but it should be the first thing that Nihilus does. And if you do that, there is a little bit of luck involved, and there were some times back in the day where you had to do it manually each time where I did have to restart. But overall, it was fairly reliable, and I actually found that as I started leveling up Sith, it got harder to do because it would go faster, and I'd have to readjust the strategy. The good news is that you only have to 3-star it once now, so you don't even really have to worry about that. But that's something, Nihilus to G12, and you should be good with getting CT2 there. And remodding. Don't forget the remodding for it. Rebels. Okay, so CLS, C-3PO, Han Solo, Chewbacca. Honestly, you could probably do CT2 right now without anything else. I did it with R2-D2. R2-D2 was my only relic at the time. It was relic R2, R2. So you can probably do that as long as you like remod. I don't think I even remodded for it, and I didn't have the greatest mods on it. CT3, you probably will need the relics, but you know, CT2 really gives you a lot of the things that are important. Oh man, Ground War CT2 is your target. This is going to take a little bit more work because you don't really have super great Jedi right now. But going after Jabba will give you Jedi Knight Luke, so that should help, especially because it looks like you bought the Ki-Adi-Mundi pack. You know, something like Jedi Knight Luke, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Hermit Yoda, you General Kenobi, and like Grandmastery Luke should be able to get you to like CT2 at the very, very, very least. Alright, let's see. Where are we at with these? Raid history, you're doing about 1.5 million. Your guild, alright, you're doing plenty. Your guild doesn't need you to do any more than you're already doing. You're fine on that raid. Tools, gear tracker, Jedi Master Luke, we're pretty far. Oh, we are far from these guys, but we have the Executor. Okay, Leviathan. This is going to be interesting. Alright, so what are we doing? You said you had Poncho Bros, or you're working on Poncho Bros. The hard thing about Poncho Bros is they are Cantina farms, so you can't even really slow farm them right now. You said Hermit, so you're working on getting Hermit up there, and then the Rebel Officer Leia, good. I think that was a pack that recently came out. So, what are you currently working on? GACAB teams, currently gearing Relicking CLS team, that's fine. Sith team, I just think Nihilus is really all you need there. Jedi Knight Luke, which is going to kind of work you into Jabba anyway. Jedi Knight Revan team there's no Kyrotech investment there other than the finishers. Wondering on whether off period between Executor Jabba has been fulfilled well for ROI. The answer is yes, because really your main target is these first five assault battles here and getting them at least to CT1, right? That's really the main ROI point. Secrets and Shadows and Fanatical Devotion, they're great, but I just don't think that they're worth building specifically for, right? When you start to get to the point where you're close to them anyway, that's the point when you want to start investing in those two things. Because if you invest specifically for them, you'll never really see the ROI on it. So we are here, but I'm curious if you bought this before I commit to that. No, you didn't. Okay. So yes, ROI-wise, you're fine. Jabba is, I don't particularly think Jabba's the best first GL for people because it does take a lot longer to get to, but there is so much upside to getting Jabba that I can see why you want to go for them. If you were to ask Phil about this, he would disagree with me. He would say Jabba first. I don't necessarily think that there's a wrong answer, to be completely honest. It depends on what you're focused more on, and you're focused more on that modding aspect, so fine, go for Jabba. I would say, Jabba and JML are super important for you, especially because you're playing catch-up. You're going to want to get a lot of those Proving Grounds characters. Even if you don't use them right away, it's nice to know that if you start getting most of them now, you don't have to crystal farm them later when you actually need them. Profundity, again, is going to be super important to you too. Just as we move into new metas, you want to have more than one meta ship, and that's going to help you get into Erodium. That's going to help you to get into Kyber as well. Darth Malak being an important character for you, I think the time to do Malak is really after... I think the soonest you should do Malak is after both Jabba and JML. But I actually think that Profundity may be something that you should consider strongly before you do Malak. And again, not something that you have to invest a lot of crystals in. It's not something that you have to do refreshes on, but at least to have it and let those crystals, those free refreshes happen until you actually need it. Again, I don't know where Places of Power, Military Might, or Ground War are currently. I just know what your target is. I'm assuming that they're not even CT1 at this point. So that should help you with getting those Kyrotech. The reality is that a first GL is really tough. As you start to get more GLs, it becomes easier and easier to get them because you have more ROI points for those Kyrotech and building those up faster. So after you end, you'll have some requirements. You could honestly do exactly what I said, where you go Jabba, JML, Profundity, Leia, just because there's so many overlays, there's so many points of similar or same requirements that it becomes a lot easier to do all of those things together. But really, I think you are someone, because you're like 3.3 million, and if you're going to do CLS and Sith, then Jedi Knight Luke, going into Jabba, you're going to hit that 4 million point, and you're going to be doing hard conquest. I do think JML is going to be more important to you than Profundity in the short term, especially with Punishing One coming out. And I want to say the same thing I said to Astra, which is basically don't sleep on that chase, if it's a chase. Not saying take it to 7 stars, but you are definitely going to want to make it usable. You definitely want to get it to like 5 stars at the very least. It should help your fleet considerably compete with those 7-star profundities. So it's definitely something that I would consider. If I were in your account, I mean, I don't really think Phoenix is super important for you right now. I honestly don't even really know if Poncho Bros are super important for you right now. The status of that assault battle is up in the air. The only thing that I would say for the Poncho Bros is if they are someone that you want to bring up, maybe consider bringing Master Qui-Gon just to 5 stars and investing in that short term, because then you'll have 2 tiers worth of free shards per month, so that by the time you are investing in them, you'll have gotten a lot more for free without having to go back on signal data and worry about those things. I do think that, I don't know the reason why you're 7 in fleet with only profundities and executors there. I don't know if that's only a sniping thing, if that was only a last night thing. But I think at least getting to rank 5 consistently will give you a lot more crystals. Being able to get 1 consistently will give you a lot more crystals, and you'll find that you'll have an easier time. There's no shame in buying Chirotech. I used to buy them all the time. I used to buy it tons. Like, anytime I'd hit a certain crystal threshold, I'd buy them. I don't need to buy them anymore. But there's no shame in doing that to speed things up a little bit without going too crazy with the crystals. Sometimes what people don't understand when it comes to like ROI and like, oh, this farming is better than that farming, is they look at it too meticulously and they don't understand limiting factors. And sometimes Cryotech can be the limiting factor that slows something down, and it's more important to speed the other thing up. So if I had your account right now, I think that the gearing stuff that you're doing is fine into Jabba. I would strongly consider JML next, then Profundity. And then if Malik is the thing you want to go for, that's the time to go for Malik. I don't think Phoenix is a high priority for you right now. And I would consider just taking a couple day pause to get Master Qui-Gon to 5 stars, just to really start capitalizing on that assault battle for the shards. After that, after Profundity, after Malik, there's not much I can tell you, just because you're looking at, with where you are on these guys, we're looking at 8 months down the road, right? So the game can be considerably different. The only other thing, you have a pretty good handle on what you want to do. The only other thing that I would say is, again, don't sleep on punishing one at least to 5 stars if it's a galactic chase, because that's going to enhance that fleet that you have, which is going to help you considerably. I'm assuming the rest of your fleet shard, especially the executors, are going to do the same thing, and you're going to want to be on the same page with them with that. All right, let's keep going. DubiousMd. Okay, what do we got? And it is 2 hours and 14 minutes. 2 hours and 15 minutes. Top 20 for fleet. I don't need exacts. Mostly 7-star negotiators with occasional chimera, endurance, or malevolence. Alright, so we're talking really, really early game account. Are you coordinating? No. Assault battles. CT1 is the only one in military might and fanatical devotion, which is interesting. Currently working on Basker Mando and executor. Very long-term goal is Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Dead set on continuing. How highly do you value 50 to 50? That's why. Because you love Tusken Raiders. I am going to say as a stipulation here, and I'll turn this over to .gg. The super early game is most definitely not my specialty, and I think that there are a lot of people who pretend that that's their specialty, and they talk about it and they don't know what they're talking about. There are some people that are really amazing at the early game. I know a lot of people talk about Darth Loquitur and his early game guides. Captain Amazing, I wouldn't say is a specialist in the early game, but he has been focusing more readily on the lowest common denominator for things like assault battles, and I believe he does still have his free-to-play account. When it comes to super early game accounts, The best I can do really is give more generalized advice on what to think about. So we'll take a look based on what you want to do with Executor and Jedi Master Luke. You know, it looks like you're on an okay path. Is really all I'll say right now. Let's see what these Tuskens look like. All right, so this is getting you CT1, so perfect, fine, keep it. Phoenix. All right, nothing there. Let's just check out some other things. Imperial Troopers, nothing there. Jedi, no. Let's go with those Rebels. Oh, it's interesting. You got a 5-star Mon Mothma. Do we have the other components? Not yet. Chewbacca, 3PO. It's so interesting. It's very rare that you see a Mon Mothma at R7 before you see 3PO and Chewie. Great history. Doing 400, about 500 million. It's probably enough for your guild. Yeah, you're fine with what you're doing here. Oh, you're doing speeder bike. I didn't even pay attention to that. Look at that. So it looks like your guild was like, fuck it, we just don't have the options for that. Interesting. You're gonna hate my advice. Okay. I would consider, you know, this is hard. You're so early game that punishing one might not affect you at all. We don't know anything about it. I would strongly consider going for Profundity over Executor. Especially if you want to go for Jedi Master Luke. They are roughly the same when we talk about how far away we are. Profundity is a newer fleet. Punishing one is said to be bringing Executor up a little bit stronger against fuck, you know. Man, it's such a weird position to be in with this. With that ship coming out, because we don't know enough about it. We don't know just how strong it'll be and if it'll really screw up the Profundity counter. So that's really tough. I would say stay the course for right now with Executor. We should be getting news. I think in 2 weeks we'll see Punishing One. We should be getting news on that. And the good news is Millennium Falcon is a big part of the Profundity fleet. And you need to work on your bounty hunter ships anyway in order to get the Millennium Falcon. So stay the course for now. I'm just really concerned that if I tell you to go for Profundity and Punishing One makes it like impossible for Profundity to beat an Executor, that it's going to put you in a bad position. Stay the course for now with Executor. Where are we on Jedi Master Luke? Yeah, we don't have any of these guys yet. All right, so the other thing I'm going to tell you here, especially with Jedi Master Luke being a early game desire of yours, work on your bounty hunters, and they can be the older ones, because you're going to need Slave 1, so work on Boba Fett. You're going to need Dengar eventually with Punishing 1, so work on Dengar. You're going to need Cad Bane, work on Cad Bane. You need Boss, so you're going to need these guys. But try to get a usable bounty hunter team at 7 stars relatively quickly. Bosk lead, I would say Bosk lead, Ig-88, Cad Bane, Boba Fett, and Dengar. And I know that sounds stupid to a lot of people who want a better fleet, but those are going to be the characters that you need for Executor anyway. Because my main concern about Jedi Master Luke is going to be Rebel Officer Leia. And you're going to want to be able to get Rebel Officer Leia shards from the bounty event as soon as possible so that you're not burning Get 2 on it. The reason I'm bringing this up is that I think we figured out that Rebel Officer Leia and Wampa are in the same event for bounties. Always prioritize Rebel Officer Leia. Always. No exceptions. Get 1 is great, but it's not as valuable as Get 2. And you're going to want to use that Get 2 elsewhere as much as you possibly can. So we want to get as many of these shards for free as we possibly can over the next 5 to 6 months. You're going to have to invest your Get 1 into Wampa and Hermit Yoda to start working towards Jedi Knight Luke, and I would start doing that now because it's going to take some time. I think that there are new avenues to getting them, if I remember correctly. I'm just popping my game in on my phone, but I think one of the raid currencies you can get those farms. I've never had to do it, so I'm not entirely sure. But you're going to want to prioritize getting those 2 characters regardless, just not from the bounty event, at least for right now. Pulling up my game. I think it's Hermit Yoda that you can get from somewhere else. Jedi, Hermit Yoda, let's see. From MK2, but that's still expensive, having to use MK2. And then, let's see, what is this? This is Guild Event tokens. Guild Event, yeah. All right. So anyway, I would prioritize the bounty event on Rebel Officer Leia starting now, and I would prioritize Hermit Yoda and Wampa starting now if Jedi Master Luke is your eventual goal. Continue on the Executor fleet. Once again, focus for your bounty hunter team, Bosk, Ig-88, Boba Fett, Dengar, because of what we're going to be seeing that pretty soon, and Cad Bane, and that'll give you the pilots that you need to be able to get that nicely. It's not going to lead really cleanly into Jedi Master Luke, but the nice thing is, well, not the nice thing, the mediocre, the gray area here is that you're going to need time anyway with getting Rebel Officer. You're at that point of the game getting Executor. Let me see your Imperial Troopers. You'll have Piet. I would not mind taking a small detour here. Veers and Stark just to G12. You don't need any Kyrotech for that. Range and Snow, again, G11, G12. Piet will be R8 because of Executor. That'll get you, depending on your speeds, but you're still early game, at least CT1, maybe CT2, CT3 if you're lucky on Forest Moon to kind of build out your ROI a little bit. Jedi Master Loot, well, Rebel Roundup, if you get those bounty hunters, will give you at least CT1 on Rebel Roundup. Jedi Master Luke will give you CT3 on ground war and military might. So you're going to kind of build out the ROI that you need for those things. And I really think that Places of Power is another one where it is important to get like an early jump on. With like Palpatine, Darth Vader, Nihilus is a strong contender. And then really doesn't matter as much after that. I used like an R9 or 10 Darth Revan. I used like a G12 Dooku. Nihilus is really the vehicle for the damage of the team. Palpatine is the vehicle for the TM for the team, and you can do that without any relics. So you're not going to need to spend cryotech to get that CT1 or that CT2. After going for JML, depending on where you are in the game, Jabba's a super solid second thing. You'll already have Jedi Knight Luke. You'll want to get Outrider at that point, assuming that we go for Executor instead of punishing one, instead of Profundity, and assuming punishing one is strong enough that it makes sense to do that, which is why I'm telling you to stay the course that you're currently on. And then I would just go right into Profundity. But the general farming advice that I would give you that I think is really important is that I see farming as a 3-layer system. You have your primary farm, which is, and right now you're at a point in the game where it's all meshed together. But you have essentially your primary farm, and your primary farm is the thing that you're relicking. You have your secondary farm, which is the thing that you're gearing. And you have your tertiary farm, which is the thing that you're shard farming, right? And at the beginning of the game, that might be on a character by character basis. So you're relicking Piet while you're gearing Darth Vader, and while you're gearing Darth Vader, you're shard farming. I don't even know who else is part of that farm, but let's just say it's Mon Mothma. I don't fucking know. So you're shard farming that, and as you push ahead, it becomes more on a team-to-team basis. So as you start to notice that you are only relicking things to get to Executor, you should be starting your gearing stuff for Jedi Master Luke. And as you start to notice that you're moving only to gearing stuff for Jedi Master Luke, you should be thinking about, okay, what can I slow farm next with just my energy in order to get it ready for the next thing, which is really going to be like your Jabba stuff or your Profundity stuff. When it comes to assault battles, this is something that I said to someone else this morning. These are really the 5 important ones. The other 2 are nowhere near as important for the early game, and these all can be done to CT1 with very little to no relic investment, which means a very low Kyrotech investment. And that's going to be really important for you for like Zeta income, for Finisher income, for Kyrotech income. So those are the ones that you're going to really want to push forward towards. I personally, I know I've been playing the game for a lot longer. I have never once had to farm Finisher gear. And that's just from making sure that my assault battles are always in order, right? And I know some of it is also that I've been playing for a long time, but even back then, when I was newer and playing catch-up, it just never became a thing because I always built up enough of it in the background to not have to worry about it. I wish I could give you more targeted advice, but I don't want to pretend that I know a ton about the minutia of the early game. Hopefully I gave you the path that makes sense as the big stuff. But I again, Captain Amazing has been working on guides for all of those assault battles at the lowest gears possible. Darth Locator spends a lot of time in the early game, which is really helpful, and I would look to those guys for more like day-by-day advice than I can possibly give. Whew. All right. We got one right here. I'm gonna go just fill up my water one more time because I'm feeling my throat starting to dry up. So give me about a minute and I will be right back. All right, we're back. I'm gonna do one more, and then we have a family barbecue to go to. I didn't realize it was getting later, and it's about an hour away. So we're gonna do one more, and then we'll get to going. 232.40, 232. Let's say 233.30 to make my life a little bit easier. Nikolai. What's the top 20 of your fleet? Top 10 Leviathans, the rest a mix of the three. Are you coordinating? No. Highly recommend that. I don't know where you are in the game yet, though. Okay, we are pretty well off here. CT3 is mostly, except for Secrets and Shadows and Fanatic Devotion. 3 requirements off Leia, sharding Zepho, Mandalore requirements with Jabba ahead of that. Are you dead set? Not particularly aside from Leia since I'm so close. Mainly unsure if I should go for Zepho Mandalore since my guild has them unlocked and getting rewards before Jabba. I took a break and missed all those characters when they came out, so lots of shard farming. How highly do you value? 80-20. You already have all of the characters that you like, so we don't have to worry about that. Now this is an interesting case here, so let's take a look and see. We are at 8 million. We are getting rank 9. Rank 9. This Chimera fleet should be able to get you. First of all, I would highly recommend talking to your fleet Discord, right? And we can do this now. So we'll show you right here. Super, super handy dandy notebook thing. We just type in fleet Discord right there, and boom, pops up a video on how to contact your fleet Discord. It's 4 minutes long. It's super quick if you don't know how to do it, but I highly recommend doing it. It is not a high effort thing, right? This is what a fleet Discord looks like. It just lets me know whose payouts are coming up so that I don't hit those people if I don't have to. And you could see the last time somebody even talked in our fleet Discord was in May. So, like, it's not a high maintenance thing. I would definitely reach out to those people and try to get in there because your fleet can beat what needs to get beat in there. All right, let's see. Got our collection here. JML, Ray, Kylo Ren, only 3 GLs, 8 million. Okay. So you have that. Raid history, you're doing 3 million, which is probably... Oh, it's about what your guild needs. So that's good. Okay, so before I say this, I do want to stipulate that this is more a guild question than a me question when we say, should I be unlocking Zepho and Mandalore before unlocking Jabba? You know, I would talk to your TB officer and ask them what they feel like. For Mandalore, I think Mandalore is a super important planet, but if your guild is already unlocking it consistently, you're probably good. For Zepho, Zepho is a pain in the ass planet to unlock. I, in my guild, want as many people attempting that battle as absolutely possibly can, because sometimes you get stupid RNG. Sometimes all of the assists hit on the same character, and then that probe droid explodes for some stupid reason, and you're dead on arrival, right? So I would look to your guild and ask them how they feel. I would say about Jabba. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis versus Jabba. Mandalore, not as important if your guild is unlocking it already. But we're going to let's assume that your guild says that you're okay, right? Or that they're not pushing you. And they're like, whatever, not a big deal. So we're going to just assume that right now. And if not, you can flip-flop the two things. Yeah, you are very close to that. Okay, so you have Executor and Profundity, and you're not using them to fight the Leviathans, which tells me that you should be able to get first place, just because there's no other reason for you to be using the fleet that you're currently using other than that. I will say it might be worth slow farming the Mark 6. It does make the profundity counter to Leviathan a lot easier. And there are some solid Executor counters out there. And even though punishing one, they're saying, is not going to help you against Leviathan, I can't see that possibly being the case. And they've been wrong about that a million times in the past. So it's just something to keep in mind here. Once you have, Third Sister is somebody I would consider doing right after Leia, for a couple of reasons. One, and I get it, Leia's so close to where you are right now that you should do it. But Third Sister materially transforms this team to such an amazing degree. And in GAC, you really just need one Omicron. She's great. She makes this team cut through things like fucking butter. Also, if you remod just for the event, you can do CT3 of Fanatical Devotion. So I would say do Leia, then just jump right into Third Sister, because it's going to materially be a huge help for you to do that, and it's going to be a closer thing to you than anything else. Skiff, and while you're doing that, you can be slow farming Skiff, and you can be slow farming Cursitan. And when I say slow farm Cursitan, I understand that Cursitan is a Cantina farm. My recommended course of action for people is to just do 2 or 3 battles of him a day before you get to him, so that when you have to shard farm him, it doesn't hurt as much. And that's just a psychological thing, because that's going to be a pain in the ass. But while you're slow farming Skiff and doing all that stuff, take that detour to work on Third Sister. And then and earlier on in this live stream during my conquest, we just burned through. It was silly, what we were doing with Third Sister, and it was just, we brought her down to 0 stamina, and we're winning battles. Third Sister is a huge mainstay. I would really consider going after her while you're shard farming for Jabba, in the interim. And again, we're assuming your guild is it's fine not to do Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, because we're already doing that battle constantly. So then in that case, I think that I would do Leia, I would do Third Sister. I would really like to know where you are on Leviathan. Leviathan's kind of far. Do you have the Fury class? Okay, so we don't have Fury class yet, so we're not going to be concerned about Leviathan. I would go for Jabba after that. Okay, so Leia. Oh my god. Leia, third sister, Jabba. Let's just look at, because we're kind of more towards the late game, I just want to look at if there's any glaring omissions here. My units, let's just do my relic units. So far, I don't see anything that's like glaring. I personally think that Ben really should have all 3 Omicrons, but if you're in a real big Omicron crunch, I don't think it is the biggest problem in the world not to have them. And then that brings me to this, because you have her. Invest in Zori Bliss. I'm telling you, it transforms that B team into an A- team for every part of the game, and it's the only thing that you don't have from the team because you already have Rey. So if I were to do anything, I would finish off Leia. I would start slow farming Zori Bliss while you're slow farming your Jabba stuff. Finish off third sister. Zori Bliss, I'd get at least to G12, but I honestly would relic her. I'd pop that Omicron on. I would finish up Jabba at that point. Now, where do you go from there? I'd love to tell you that there's some big plan, but I think that right now there is a lot going on that we're unsure of. I do think that you are probably going to want to be on the forefront of at least prioritizing punishing one a little bit. 5 stars at the bare minimum. We don't know what's going on with the next raid. I personally think Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka are going to be a huge part of that. I think that Baylan Skoll is going to be the more free-to-play friendly team there. So you might want to be in a position to start considering those things. But at the same time, they might just sell us another Lightspeed bundle for like Night Sisters or Phoenix or whatever else. Or Imperial Remnant. But not the new Imperial Remnant. And that might be enough, you know. So I would say don't go too crazy after Jabba, because that's going to take you a couple of months anyway. And we'll know a lot more information at that point. I definitely would strongly consider putting extra towards Leviathan. You know, it's always good to have all of the GL fleets. And I know that you don't have Fury class yet, but the ships are the biggest pain in the ass part of that. So when you find yourself with extra energy, I would really try to get the Mark 6 at the bare minimum, because it works great with Profundity against Leviathan. I mean, there's no other ships that you have in that way that's going to be a problem, but let's see, what's the other one? It is a TIE something or another. TIE Dagger, right? Dagger. I would start trying to put a little bit of energy towards those ships, because when you do have Fury class, you are probably going to want to go towards Leviathan. So really, the path you're on is pretty good, but you have like little small things in the interim that you're going to want to go towards, mainly being Zori and Third Sister, and keeping in mind... Yeah, it's tough. The Leviathan can be tough because I think it's Sith Assassin is a Cantina farm, so it's not something that you can passively do early. But the nice thing about that is that when you are ready with everything else, you can do that in a very short amount of time. You know, and that's the double-edged sword. The other nice thing... is that they seem to be selling us signal data at higher degrees. Like that signal data pack that just came out last week that was 1950 crystals. That was a no-brainer buy. I bought one of them. I would have bought 3 of them if you could buy 3 of them. I'm hoping that that pack becomes like a monthly thing or even a weekly thing, because I will buy it every single... Oh, the MK6 is Cantina. Fuck. Alright. See, I don't even pay attention to that shit. And you can't. Never mind. You can't do MK6 right now. Damn. Damn. Zavor, I need you. The Three Scoundrels joke about this, but I need you as like a green screen floating head in the top right corner as like my Zordon. It's like, Egnards, you can't shard farm that now because it's a Cantina farm. And then maybe we'll get like an Alpha 5 character over here. That could be like Bones. And Bones could be like, oh no, Rangers! Something like that. That was a pretty good Alpha 5, I think. So we're going to scratch Mark 6 for now. Because you really need that for Curse of Tan, and you're going to need the signal data a little bit too much. But again, I will tell you that pack is a beautiful, beautiful pack. And if it comes around every week, they are fucked because I am buying that every single week. But really, the only two things that are really glaring omissions for you right now are Third Sister and Zori Bliss. If you find the energy to go towards Zepho or Mandalore, if your guild does not tell you, hey, you really need Cal Kestis, I personally think Bo-Katan is the better character. And is more worth doing, and is going to give you more upside overall. So, guys, with all of that said, I've got a family barbecue to get to. We have 2 more roster reviews. Well, actually 3, because 1 came in today, but they're going to have to, unfortunately, wait until next week. I don't think that they're too late, so I don't feel too bad. Don't forget to vote in our little poll up here, right? Who I'm going to relic on 1018. And I change out different characters. It's a mix of characters that I wouldn't mind doing, characters that kind of suck, and meme characters. So we'll get Cup in there maybe next time as well. And Phil and I were talking about I will in a second. We were talking about doing like a little phone stream when we meet up at the Ren Fair and getting drunk and doing a Q&A. So if you're interested in that, let me know, because we were joking about it. And we thought it would be a fun thing to do, even though it would like burn both of our phones down, and we were joking. I will honor you by leaving on just a single fuck you, Bones, because nobody wants to fuck Bones, but everybody wants to fuck you, Bones. Have a great week, guys, and I will see you on Discord if you're